Welcome everyone. This is a browser game that I've been playing recently. It's called Mush. You can get it at mush.twinoid.com, and I've enjoyed it. It's been an interesting little game. It depends on the type of people you get though, and we're going to go into that in some more detail. So if you like this video, this is kind of a test to see if there's a need for Mush videos in English, because I noticed there's quite a few of them in French, and I know there's quite a lot of people that play this game that don't speak French. So we're going to see if this gets any ground, and let's go from there. Let's explain what this game is. So basically this is the main page, and this game just launched on November 5th. It was in beta for, I think, since the early summer, maybe late spring of 2013. And basically the concept is there are 16 characters on the ship. It's called the Daedalus, or however you want to pronounce that. It's probably a Greek mythological creature or something. And so there's 16 people. All of them are real characters, real people from the world. And there are basically 16 different characters. As you can see, it's kind of cycling through 16 of them in the bottom left here, where you've got like Zo Chung, who's very important or whatever, and this person likes cats, and this person's the ship owner, and this person is an investigator, a journalist, and there's like people on wheelchairs, and there's all different roles, and it's kind of interesting. And so basically what happens is you sign up one by one, and as you join the game, your character wakes out of cryogenic sleep, and then you begin playing basically. And now the thing is, you can't actually tell who's controlling each character. So you may be playing with it'll only say, like in the forums, it'll say Ian is talking, or it'll say Zung Chung is talking. It won't say X-ray scopes 2012 is controlling this character. So you won't know if the people you're playing with are any good or bad, or if they're trolls or if they're helpful. You'll only be able to tell based on their actions in the game through the character that you're seeing. So let's get into the game some more so you have a better concept. But that's generally the concept of what's going to happen here. So you got to sign up on Twinoid probably, and then you click play, and it'll come up with, let's see, it comes up with 4 characters you can choose, sometimes less if the ship's almost full. So this ship has basically more than 12 slots available. So here's the different characters, and you get a brief description of their skills and what they do. Like Kim Jung is the commander of the ship. This Piola, I forget what she does, she's a biologist, I guess, communications officer, and a journalist. So I guess for the sake of this, we'll go with, I've never been Kim Jong Soon before, so maybe we'll go be him. He's the supreme commander of the Daedalus, in charge of piloting, and yeah, he moves the ship. So he's pretty important, and he can give motivational speeches to help out the crew's morale, which we'll get into in a sec as well. So I've been Janice, and I've been Paola. I haven't been Alicia. Alicia's actually really important in this game. It seems like a lot of times you get good people being Alicia. So I think this is going to be something like my 6th or 7th ship now, and it really depends on the other 15 people you're with as far as like how successful your mission's going to be. So we've woken up from sleep here, and check fingers, check toes, and everything's fine. So this is basically the interface right here. You can scroll down a little bit. There will be stuff down here in this section, but right now, like below, I don't know if you can see my mouse, for projects, but you can't see that because we haven't done any projects. So let's start in the top left here. You've got this button here, which is your level up skills. This is my character Jinsu, and basically I can level them up and get some more skills. So I don't know, every time you start a new character, I think you get to level up, or every time you start a ship you get to level up and you get your first skill. So we've got leader is our skill, and it gives a motivational speech which increases morale. So let's look at these two things here. Health is, I guess, out of 14. Health really isn't an issue unless you get into some injuries or some accidents or something. I've never really had an issue with it. It'll go down if like the ship gets really cold. I don't know how the ship gets cold yet, but if your ship's really falling apart and it starts getting cold, your health will drop. Morale is more likely to drop. Morale goes up and down if the ship has connection to Earth, which is called Sol. And other events too will drop its morale. If you see some people kill each other on the ship, your morale will go down. and you may get paranoid and stuff. So that's the health and morale bars. Then you've got 3 slots here to hold things. The walkie-talkie allows you to have private conversations with other people, which we'll go into. Hopefully we'll go into. And then the tracker brings up this map. If you drop the tracker, you can't see the map. So here's the ship. It's got 27 rooms. A lot of the rooms are the same. We're right here in the yellow, and the pink dots are other players. So the front of the ship is over here, pointing northwest, and the bottom of the rear end of the ship is back here. So we've got the bridge. We've got a lot of turrets. I think there's 6 turrets on the ship. So we got turrets to shoot off enemy ships. Then we got corridors. We got a corridor here, front corridor, center corridor, and then one more corridor back here, which is the rear corridor. And then you got all sorts of different rooms: gardens, laboratories, med labs, storage rooms, different storage rooms, refractory, which is where the food's made, Bravo bays, Alpha bays, more bays, Icarus Bay, which is where you go and launch ships for landings to planets, engine rooms, turrets, more storage, and the Nexus room, which is for upgrading your computer, which is a take on HAL. Okay, so that's basically that, and then we'll get in. So the next thing you really need to know is action points and movement points. Now, if you start up this game for the first time, you're going to get a tutorial, which is actually, it's a really good tutorial, considering what Twinoid usually puts out, but it won't go into all the different situations that you're going to encounter. It can't. There's a lot that's going on in this game. Like you won't know what Jin Su does until you've really played with him. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be on the bridge, I'd presume, because I'm the commander, but that's about it. Then from there, we'll just go from there. So basically, yeah, action points and movement points right here. So I think you can fill up with 12 and 12 of both. And so your 12 movement points are blue and your action points are red. Okay? So your action points allow you to use things in the room. So for example, if I wanted to cook something at the research lab here, we'll just access the terminal just to look at it. See, if I want to do this, this will use up action points to do this research and stuff. So we won't do that. And plus, I'd have to, my person's not specialized in doing that, and I'd have to wear like a lab suit. So we won't do that. So that's an action point. Action points, usually most actions take 1 or 2, I think sometimes 3 action points per action. So depending on your character, different characters go through action points quicker depending on their tasks. Movement points is the one you really want to try and not use up too much. As you can see, I can move around as much as I want in the room. That's just cosmetic. But every time I leave a room, so right now we're in the laboratory, sorry. If I were to move out into the front corridor through this door here, or if I was to go out through this door, that would cost me 1 movement point, which is the blue one. So every time you go into a new room, you lose a movement point. So that's basically that. You've got to watch those 2 things. And yeah, there's my motivational speech thing right there. So everyone in the room gets 2 additional morale, which is useful for helping people out. Okay, so that's good. Next thing we're going to talk about, so here's your skills as we talked about briefly. Excuse me. Let's go talk about the forums now. So in the forums you've got this first tab, which is called your tips tab, and basically it just gives you general tips on anything that's going on the ship, and also some more character-specific tips, so they're good to read. I like reading them. But as a general rule, you're probably better off asking what your character should do in the forum, and hopefully someone more experienced will know what to do, and they'll direct you to go to a room and do something. So here is, the next one is the room events tab, and as you scroll down, you get rid of all these gold things, and it reduces. So basically, it just tells you all the stuff that's happened in that room for the last, I think, 24 hours, basically. So you can find out if someone's a mush, or if they're trying to destroy the ship, if they're being malicious. So here's the forum. As you can see, we've got Roland here saying, "I'm collecting scrap, please don't move the ship." Okay, we won't. I think that means Roland's out in a patrol ship. There we go. Yep, he's killed some hunters, and there you go. Look at that. So we got lots of people talking here. They're saying hello. Not much going on yet. And then there's and then here's where you get the private channel using your walkie-talkie. So I can like invite anyone to come who's on the ship already. Let's see here. Let's see if I can get it here. Here it comes. So anyone who's on the ship right now. The other guys are all still in the cryo module waking up. I can invite them to a private conversation and we can talk. So that would be cool. But so that's that, and we can quit that at any time and leave the conversation. So we're almost done, basically. Let's go and talk about the ship status bar up here, which is very important. The next thing that you really need to know is your cycles and your days, your day cycle, basically. So it goes on a 3-hour cycle period. So every 3 hours in real life, your cycle changes and begins a new cycle. And so there's 8 cycles in a day, because it's 24 hours divided by 3, which is 8. So right now we're on day 1, cycle 7, so we're coming near to the end of the first day. And in an hour and 20, we'll enter day 2 of the ship, and then it'll just go forward. And basically, every cycle, events will occur. For one, you will gain action and movement points. I think 1 action and movement point for every cycle. Now, if you're sleeping down in one of the dormitories, which are located in kind of the middle rear of the ship here, Bravo or Alpha Dorm, you'll gain an additional action point, I believe. And also, if certain people are present in the room, you'll gain additional action points and movement points and blah, blah, blah. So that's that. That's the time in the day cycle, which is important to keep aware of. So next we've got the alerts bar, and this is basically the onboard computer will tell you if there's something wrong with the ship. Often this will be fires or broken equipment or doors not working or stuff of that nature, or hunters attacking, which are basically just enemy ships that come attack. They're different from Mush. And I should mention, we'll mention that in a second actually. So that's basically that, and then yeah, that's the alerts bar. So oxygen, obviously important to keep your oxygen up. Because if you don't have oxygen, then your ship's going to just asphyxiate to death. So we have 29 to 32 oxygen. I guess it goes down every cycle based on how many people are alive on ship. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but I'm assuming it's something along those lines. Fuel reserves, I don't think that decreases by cycle. It decreases by ship movement, as far as I know. So if I move the ship, then we're going to lose fuel. Very straightforward. And the reason to move the ship is to either escape an attacking swarm of hunters or move to a planet to do an expedition. And expeditions will possibly allow you to collect scraps, collect food off the planet, collect oxygen, which is the #1 target. But also on planets there's beasts and seismic activity and volcanoes and intelligent life and cold temperatures and all these things you gotta watch out for. Armor is another thing you gotta watch out for. That's 100. It's 100 out of 100 right now, which is good. It'll go down all the time as hunters attack. And I think at the end of every cycle, the hunters inflict some damage on your ship if they're active, which we don't have any hunters around us. So right now it's just we don't have any link to Sol, which I think that limits the number of projects we can do on the main base. And this is the personal glory section. So my character earns 3 glory for every interstellar voyage carried out under my command. Basically. So every time I move the ship, I get 3 glory. And you also get glory from completing projects, which will go down here. When you're like, if we research something, it'll go down as a project. And if we do something in this Nexus room, it'll go down as a project. And I think we get glory from stuff that goes on the bridge too. And maybe some other stuff, maybe the garden, which I've actually never been to the garden. So right now we've got 6 people have entered the ship. They've all signed up, and we've got another 10 spots still open. And once all the 16 crew are active, basically they sign up to play the game. They pick one of their 4 characters, basically. Then 2 Mush are designated. Now the Mush they look like I could become a Mush once those 16 get picked. Once the 16 start playing, then 2 are just randomly assigned. So, except for 1 character, I think 1 character cannot be Mush. So it's actually really 1 out of 50. There's 1 character in this game who's immune to being Mush, as far as I understand it. So basically that's that. And I think that's all we've got to say about that. Mush, basically, their goal is to try and destroy the ship as fast as possible and try and turn as many people to being Mush as you can. Now, the Mush people won't look any different than the characters that you'll see here. Like, if there was... I can't really go to a room because I'm going to go up to the bridge. I'm going to go the wrong way. But if I was in the same room as a bunch of other people, they would all just look like normal people. They wouldn't look like monsters. But I think if you're playing as Mush, you actually look like the Mush character, not the, you're like, it's like, if you've ever seen the movie The Thing, it's basically what they're trying to do. The 1985 or the 2011 version, where it's a shape-shifting creature trying to take over the ship. And you will not know how many Mush are on the ship. Initially it's 2, but you won't know if it's expanded to 8, which would be very successful. So let's head out into the front corridor and pretty much end this introduction to the game. Here's a support drone. I think he goes around and fixes things. I don't know what he really does, to be honest with you. I'm pretty sure he just fixes things. So yeah, the room updates all the time. And if you ever want to like not have to click off all these little things, because sometimes they're hard to find in the forum, you can just mark channel as red and it'll disappear. So let's head over to the bridge. And so yeah, in each of these shelving units, anything that you drop, so let's say I were to drop my walkie-talkie or tracker, it would automatically go into the shelving unit. So it's not like you're going to have stuff lying on the floor here and here. You can't just litter. So yeah, there's different rooms to go into. There's turrets and stuff, but we're going to go into the bridge because that's where my spot is. Here's the main bridge. There's 3 different things here: comm center, command terminal, and astro terminal, and then there's a shelving unit. So let's go access the command terminal. Oh, I can't. Why don't I have access? What? I don't understand. I don't know. Maybe I have to go pick this thing up. There, I'm picking this up. I thought I had access. I thought I was the only one who had access to this. What? You don't have access to the terminal. The right to the. Oh, you know why? I know why. Because we don't actually have any. Because until the 16 people are signed up, no one has any titles. Once everyone signs up, then the titles are assigned. So like, I'll become the commander, and so then I'll have access to this, and someone else have access to this, and someone else have access to this, and the other stuff. So that's that, guys. Thanks for watching. If you like this, then give it a like, and so I'll know that this series is worth continuing. I would like to come back and check out this character in the future. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.